you for joining us today. This is Think Big with Dan and Qasim, and today we have Richard with us. And Richard, will you please introduce yourself? Who are you and what you are doing?
Sure. Well, my name is Richard Lowenthal. I am co-founder of GoBrunch, which is a virtual space platform where you can have immersive meetings. Before GoBrunch, I co-founded a business school, which is called Live University. It's pretty much based on master degree programs for specific professional areas.
Great. So, will you let us know what were the challenges you faced starting your business?
Well, I'll say that, before GoBrunch, I was working in a company that I co-founded, and yeah, everything was going well. Like we were able to get traction. We had, a lot of like 600, 700 students per year. Everything was fine. And then at some point, it seems every entrepreneur needs a new challenge, and that's why I decided to step out as an executive of my school and start our SaaS company. And I would say, the biggest challenge that we always have is how to get traction, and not only in the money perspective, but I would say in terms of, hey, how we can get users, how we can achieve the dreams that we have. And I think that was a starting point.
Ah, that's good. What do you do to maintain your work-life balance? I believe when you start entrepreneurship, there are a lot of challenges. Like I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm working in office for 10 to 12 hours a day. So for me, it is a challenging thing. So would you let me know how you are how you are handling this challenge?
Certainly. Yeah. Well, I started my SaaS company before GoBrunch before the pandemic, and I would say that it was quite, way easier for me to balance my work with my life because I was practicing martial arts. I was
Oh, nice.
walking, and yeah. After the pandemic, I've been working remotely because my team is all over the world. We have people from South America, from Europe, from Africa, and we work remotely. After the pandemic, I have to say I slowed down my exercise and all this stuff. And I think at some point, I think the pandemic made us to work more than we were used to, and at some point to sacrifice a little bit our life balance, as you mentioned. But yeah, as much as I try to commit myself with some stuff, at the end of the day, I think the work takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts for us, and many times I have to sacrifice a little bit my personal stuff in order to achieve what I'm looking for in my work, my job.
Yeah, obviously sacrifices are a compulsory thing, I believe, when you are following your dreams. So this is obviously something that we can expect for sure. So okay, I really want to know how your processes are, what is your way of doing this work, like day-to-day routine. So I really want to know about it and how people can work with you if they want to. So what are the possibilities, like if you can demonstrate a little bit?
Sure, you mean the platform itself? Sure. Let me just share. Yeah, I'm gonna have probably to share my screen.
Sure.
Yeah, if you can allow me, because I think there's a
Yeah. Mhm.
pretty much GoBrunch, and this is one more interesting information, right? Because of the pandemic, GoBrunch mimifies everything that you have in person. And then you can have, for example, a room like this one, which is a co-working space that I have for my customers, and they
Mhm.
can join here at any time. And this is actually really cool because, I feel like by the time I started GoBrunch, one of the reasons I started is that I was thinking, hey, you know what? In the virtual world, social media, even websites are becoming boring, and it's very difficult for you to connect with people. And as much as you can use LinkedIn to connect, it's not as the same. And I was just thinking, hey, how about if we combine like a LinkedIn with a webinar platform and a kind of a poker stars look and feel? And
Mhm.
that's pretty much how we ended up with the first vision of GoBrunch. And now we have seen a lot of different use cases. This is like a space you can click here to move your circles. Many times I have seen my community of users joining here, which is really nice because I have the chance to engage with them, right? And again, I can engage by email, but there's no comparison here. It's way more interactive. I can
Yeah.
even introduce people, right? And this is just one use case. Let me just show one more use case that I have here. This one is actually very interesting. Like, this is my office inside my virtual headquarters. And
Nice.
I was using like Slack before, but I would say that this kind of experience is leveraging a lot of value and creating a lot of generating productivity for me and my team. What we are doing right now is I can see here the team members who are online. For example, here I can see three of them, they are online and they have their own offices, which is really cool because they can decorate their offices the way they want, and they can keep their personality and individuality. Like, we don't want to overcome nothing that they're doing, but it's really easy because if I want to connect, I want to have a conversation with Gabriel, I just click here and I join his room, and then I can say, hey Gabriel, I'm here, I have a question. You know what, we are struggling here with to deploy this process here, can you help me out? And each one of them has like a different room, a different experience that we can experiment.
Mhm.
And in addition to that, we do have like a main co-working space. And that's how we have seen our customers using GoBrunch. Like, they have, we have two main audiences. The
Mhm.
first one are exactly like startups, right? Using like this kind of really cool environment where you can be here at any time of the day. There's no limit for you in terms of time zones, and you don't need to be here as a owner, right?
Yeah.
And the second audience that we have are communities in general. And communities in general, they use this as let's say as a stage for gathering their members,
Mhm.
which is really nice. And inside this community, they can have, let me just show a different example here. Here we have like list of different communities that are showcasing here in GoBrunch, but we have seen a lot of interesting examples. Let me just join this one here. For example, it's like a music networking group. And by joining here, for example, you have the sense that you can have more students inside of it. And sometimes we see there's the, let's say, the professor's office here, but many times, okay, I want to join here the cinema hall because there's an event happening here. If I want to know all everything that's happening, like all the, if I want to see the agenda, I can join this room, for example, which is like the lobby of the space. And here we can see like an agenda here with all the upcoming events that this person has. And like there's like a video explaining how they work, how this virtual space works. And each one of these rooms that people are creating here, they have a very different experience. And the main benefit of you creating here is that as much as this reassembles a little bit the metaverse, it's way easier for you to set up and it's way easier for you to join.
Nice. This is pretty cool.
Right, yeah. There are many different examples here. And again, our vision, you spoke about, dream. Our vision is that every individual and every business in the world should have a brunch space. First of all, it's very relaxing for you to create something like that. Some people say, hey, you know what, I'm just playing with that, and you can move the circles, you can add your music here, like your playlist of music, your videos, and all this stuff. But not only that, right, you have the ability to have more people inside your environment, which is really cool. And again, it's kind of therapeutical for you to build this kind of rooms. And even better when when you start seeing people joining, it's just like your neighbor is knocking on your door and coming over.
That's that's great. No, interactions are good. Interactions are cool. In fact, cool interactions, man. This is something new. Yeah.
And yeah, there are many different examples here, but yeah, we have seen. Just get back here to my
What
space,
is
but
the
yeah, we have
best
seen.
thing? So sorry to get you. What is the best thing
Sure.
you know about your system? Like, but you can say, okay, this is the most coolest thing, and I love this. Like maybe one of them. I believe your whole system is a cool thing. There might be something that you really like a lot. So will you please
Yeah,
mention?
in terms of features, definitely now our editor. We do have like a, again, it's just like imagine that you are have a Photoshop, right? But it's for building like your house, right? Just like imagine a Photoshop for a Sims, for the Sims experience. But later on, you know that people, real people, will join. And here you can like move your circles here. You can duplicate your circles.
Uh-huh.
I just move this along here, and you can change the colors and customize. And let's say, hey, you know what? My branding here is blue, and then you can add here circle as blue. And you can embed objects like this one here, which this one I created using Canva, right? Which is a very popular tool. And you
Yeah.
can create stuff like that, embed here. Later on, you just need to update on Canva, and it's here. And you can add images. This is the coolest stuff that we have ever created. Like you can add YouTube videos. It's very powerful.
Yeah, and that's a very cool idea, by the way. So, what is the most influential thing creating this whole scenario and idea? What was the most influential thing for you?
I would say that, what really motivated me, I think there are two parts of it, right? The first one is like, I was feeling that as much as you are working, with together with more people, working remotely is kind of lonely.
Yeah.
You feel like, you don't have anyone surrounded you. It's kind of, sometimes you just feel that energy of a physical place. And I was, attending different kinds of meetings or webinars. This was back to 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And yeah, I realized that, people didn't have this kind of idea of, hey, we need proximity. We need to build a relationship. And I was thinking, hey, how can we make this a little bit more, let's say, casual, in a way that people can join at any time of the day, can interact, just like you had a physical space. And the name of our company is GoBrunch, and the reason why is it reassembles the coffee of a conference center, right? And this smelling. Of course, here we cannot reproduce the smell, unfortunately. But I think, bringing this kind of emotions that we have once you are in a place with more people around you, I think that was the dream that I had. And it's interesting because we have right now different kinds of audiences, and we even have like students using GoBrunch for casual meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel like they use because they miss their friends. They want to. Sometimes if people just join GoBrunch to be in silence side by side here and do, like, there's a technique that people are calling now as body doubling, which pretty much is like, hey, what I'm doing here is working together with one more people, and this person is providing like incentive or encouraging me to finish let's say a project that is kind of difficult for me to
Mm-hmm.
finish, right? And sometimes you just see people in silence, but they are, they are in a room like that, and sometimes they ask a question and say, hey, what do you think about this? Now, I'm just building this design here, this landing page, and this project. Everyone inside this one of these collective spaces, they can see, they can help, they can even provide accountability and say, hey, if you need to finish this today, I'll help you out. And this
Hmm.
brings the sense of community that I think the world is missing, especially in the virtual realm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, exactly. There's one question from on my side. Like, where do you see Go Brunch in future when after the pandemic there are persons they are eagerly wanting to get out to go into the real world again, and we are dragging them back to the virtual reality again. Then where do you see the Go Brunch in that thing? Like after the pandemic, the persons they want to go out. They don't want to just go back in the virtual reality again.
Yeah, that's a great question. Not everyone are thinking this way, right? As much as the majority of them are doing that, but still, I don't know. You guys probably are not. Are you in the same office or are you working remotely?
Yeah, we are in the same office. And by the way,
The same
Dan,
office, okay.
Dan, Dan works remotely. He is in Dallas. Our office is in Lahore,
Okay.
Pakistan. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Wow. Again, yeah. If you're connecting from Dallas to Pakistan, right? It's it's virtual, right? And even the companies right now, it has like there is a culture already built that okay, I work hybrid, 2 times a week I can stay at home. And once you are at home, it's kind of difficult for you to have the same energy that you have in your physical office. I remember an HR director that is friend of mine. He works in Canada, and he will say, when I am in my office, yeah, I really feel like the energy, and have like the, just like the water cooler, but not only the water cooler, but all the different areas. Imagine like Apple, how much they invested in all this infrastructure to encourage people to build and innovate. And but if you're working like remotely 1 or 2 times a week, twice a week, or even if you are in a community with people from all over the world that you don't have the ability to gather them in a physical place, this is exactly the extension. This is the extension of what you envision to be the best environment for my team, or the best environment for my community members.
Yeah,
Okay.
getting that. And by the way, this is the beauty of co-working, like co-working space. This is sort of like because I believe this is sort of like co-working area where multiple people can sit there and do their work, even if it is remotely, even if this is what in virtual world, but still you can get a feeling of sitting at the same place.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Again, I think I was using, like, as I mentioned, Slack before, and of course it's productive, it's
Yeah,
effective,
yeah.
but it's not, you don't feel like, I remember that I think it was last week, I was working late, at late hours, and I found like 1 or 2 members online, and it was, it's a very good sensation that you really feel that they are the same building as you, and you say, you know what, let me. You can even connect with them, but you can just feel like, hey, I'll finish what I have to finish now because I feel more motivated.
There was a possibility, by the way, we may have this call in this room.
What is it?
I think there was a possibility if we can have this podcast in this room.
Oh yeah, definitely. We do have a radio station that is launching right now in GoBrunch, and it's really cool because let me just join some of these rooms here while I explain. But I don't have access to this right now because she's launching. But she created an amazing space decorated as a radio studio,
Nice.
and she created like rooms for actually, yeah, I kind of follow this kind of concept here, but there are, rooms for people to network, rooms for making the interviews, and even rooms for, people who to interact with that among themselves, like the producers. It's really, really cool, like the project that she's creating. And again, it's you really feel like, hey, there are more people here, right? And then I think we start to bring back that word that now it's kind of old fashioned, which is culture, right? It helps us to build a culture.
Yeah.
I really struggle to build a culture on Slack, right? Because it seems like businesses in general, they are addicted to 30 minutes meetings and very tight scheduling. And then what happened is that many people say, hey, if I'm working at home, I feel more productive. And indeed, you are more productive if you're home many times, right? Of course, depends on the person, but I would say, based on many research that we have seen, yeah, working at home is more productive. But at the same time, it's kind of overwhelming because you plan yourself to do a lot of tasks, and at the end of the day, it's not like, it's not like a productive, right? It's something more just like an obligation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what happened is that if you are in a space like this one, it's a little bit more relaxing, and you have, people support, and you can be more spontaneous. I think that's more natural and spontaneous, because if you join, like, imagine that at the middle of the day I join your room, just say, hey, came over to say hi. And you say, what, when was the last time someone, dropped into your room or send you a link for a meeting just to say hi?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a very interesting thing, Richard. So, well, that being said, Richard, it was very nice and great talking to you. So, do you have any, a message for our audience that you would like to convey from the GoBrunch side?
Well, yeah, again, if you're working online, I really, we really encourage you for trying out this kind of virtual spaces because they really help. Again, I'm not very addicted to 3D because it makes me feel a little bit dizzy, but experiences like this one are very simplified, very simple for people to join, very simple for you to control. And if you're interested, yeah, pretty much is gobrunch.com. It's very simple, and you can start even with the free version, which is very generous with no time limit. And yeah, I hope you can um, create this sense of belonging as I'm doing with my team.
Well,
Hope,
thank you so much, Richard.
hopefully, hopefully next time when we will be having another episode with you for a podcast, we will be going to do this podcast in your room on Go
Sounds like
Brunch.
a plan. Sounds
Yeah,
like a plan. Well, appreciate your invitation, and more than happy to participate.
So nice
yeah,
of you. So nice of you, Richard. It is honor for us to have you in our podcast, and we really wish you a lot of best. So nice of you for coming over there, for joining us. We will stay connected. I hope we will stay connected, and uh, maybe we can reach again maybe later.
Sounds
And
good. Sounds good. Appreciate, guys. Thank you very much. Have a really nice end of your day. I'm sure that in Pakistan it's pretty late, so have a good night.
thank you. Yeah, it is 12:28 a.m.
Yeah. All right.
mm,
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Richard. Have a good day. Bye bye.